only inherited Mary's genes, then he must have inherited half of manhood, and his chromosomes should have number 24 instead of 48. Where did the rest come from? Allah's spirit could not have turned into matter, or if they believe that it turned into matter, then there is no distinctive line between God and the material, the creator and the created. So, to understand just one single aspect of Christianity, you have to build up an edifice of paradoxes. Each step, each brick which is laid in the foundation of Christianity, and then the building of Christianity is raised brick by brick, each such brick is a paradoxical brick. Now you further follow this line. If they say no, the half of Jesus Christ bodily was provided by Allah by His word kun. We say this is exactly what we say, and this is what is called creation. It is not sonhood. Sonhood requires characters inherited from father's side and characters inherited from mother's side. Jointly they two put together make a child, and a parenthood is created. So if it is not so in the case of Jesus Christ, then it is only a metaphorical son, and there is no debate between you and us. If he is a literal son, then half of him must be provided by Allah, by God. Now, another interesting aspect of this is that no animal can mate with another animal of a different species, and a different order is out of question. For instance, a hen cannot mate with a male pigeon while they are so close and similar to each other. A turkey cannot mate with a hen, and if they do, there won't be anything. The result would not be production of offsprings. Whatever they do, it's just meaningless, because the character of their genes are different and they cannot mend together. Nothing can be produced. So it is out of question for a snake to mate with an elephant. So how could God mate with a woman? If not literally so, in essence, what type of corresponding genes he should have emitted from his own person? If those genes were human-like, then they could come into mating with the female genes of a humanoid. That is understandable. But human genes cannot belong to God, and godly characters cannot be wed to human genes. So the physical aspect of Jesus Christ remains half. Even if you can, through a largest extension of your imagination, conceive a situation where God could have mated with a woman. Even so, you cannot conceive of what the result of this mating, because as I have said it, I will make it more clear again, that if the sperm given off by Allah in some form went and entered the ovum of Mary, that sperm could either bear the character of God or the character of human beings. There is no third possibility. If it bore the character of God, then it could not supply that missing part of the human body which had to come from the father, because it was not there. The fact is that half of the human characteristics are borrowed from the ovum of the mother and half from the male. Ovum by itself can never fertilize into a human body, because it's just half. Every character is half, it cannot become anything at all. It would go into decay but would not produce anything, whatever you do with it, unless the other half is supplied. So according to the Christian theory, the other half is supplied by Allah. Okay, for the time being we believe. In what form? That half bore human characters or godly characters? This is the question. If that half bore godly characters, then half that was necessary for the production of a child was still missing. Because human limbs, human mind, human eyes, human nose could not come into existence unless that other half that was missing from a male, human male, that was provided. So because Allah's half did not provide that much, the child could not be born. If you say no, Allah provided from Himself, as a part of Allah, a sperm was emitted which carried human characters which were missing in Mary's case. Then the question would be, if that sperm bore human characters, would you say that Allah has all the human characters? So where is God then? Either you miss the child or the father. You can't hold both together at one and the same time. This is what is called paradox. They cannot exist at one and the same time. This is like an Arabic joke which generally I tell at this occasion to make everybody understand the nature of a paradox. Following this argument, this is the paradox to which I was pointing out. If you try to retain the child by conceiving that Allah provided the human characters through the sperm, then the child can be born but Allah disappears. In his place there appears a human being. If the vice versa is taken, Allah only provides the characters of God to the womb of Mary, then human child that was to be born, that disappears. They can't be found in existence at one and the same time. This is called paradox. The joke which I refer to is this. It's an Arabian joke about Joha. Very popular joke in Arabia. Joha is a very humorous character, like we have Sheikh Chilli and things, So Joha is also a very popular and humorous character, like Mullah Do Piazza in the tales of the courts of Akbar. He was also a courtesan joker. So it is said that once he brought 2 seers of meat to his wife and said, "Look here, I am so fond of eating meat and I have never been satiated. So I have bought these 2 seers just for myself. Cook it as best as you can and keep it from me. Nobody is to share with me, not even me." The wife said, "Yes, I understand, it's okay. You go ahead and when you return you will find these 2 seers well prepared for you, waiting for you." So when he left, in his absence, a few of wife's brothers came as guests. And she cooked the meat and served it to the brothers. And they didn't leave a morsel of that meat behind. So then the wife bought some lentils and cooked dal, which we call in Urdu. Cooked some dal and waited for the husband to come. When the husband came and asked for the 2 seers of meat, she produced the dal, the lentil instead. So He said, look here, what has happened to my meat? This is not meat. So the wife